And my sincere apologies, first of all, for missing. It's now been almost 1 month since we've had our last class. And of course, the plan was only 2 weeks. But due to the situation in the world, it was very difficult for me to get a ticket back. And so I guess by Lord's arrangement, I was able to spend more time with the devotees. So that was really wonderful. But also I missed these classes. So I'm very happy to be back. And I'm very happy to see all of you too. Also, I'd like to welcome Srimati Madhu Arora ji. So thank you very much for joining us. She's a friend of Shivani Didi. And actually, she randomly messaged me while I was in India. I, of course, mistaken her for another Madhu that I thought was not only a male, but also my friend. And I sent a bunch of messages. And she must have been like, what is this? In any case, she listened to the Bhagavad Gita course and she completed it, I guess, in like 10 days, 7 days. So first of all, thank you very much for that, for giving your attention. As we discuss in this class many times, that artha means wealth or prosperity. And in the Vedic scriptures, 4 goals are given in this human life: dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Of course, for us, we are not interested in just in those 4. We are interested in the 5th goal, which is prema. But for many, artha is a very important goal, especially for those in the householder life. So we all desire some wealth, or we all need some wealth in order to survive. However, the truth is what is the ultimate wealth? Is it the money in the bank account, or is it the land that we may own? But actually, our ultimate wealth is our time. That is the most valuable thing of all. So Didi kindly gave her time to that series, and I hope she found it beneficial, but I also thank you for giving me that chance or that time. So before we begin, let us perform Mangalacharan. And for those of you who know those prayers, you can sing along with me. Ajñāntimirandasya jnānanjana shalakaya chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Śrī Guruve Namah. Namo Vishnupadaya Radhikāyai Priyātmane Śrīmad Bhakti Vedanta Nārāyaniti Namine. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Namo Mahabhadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratishe Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Shri Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusate Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vrindai Tulsi Devyai Priyaya Keshavasya Cha Krishna Bhakti Pade Devi Satyavate Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So first of all, I'd like to offer my millions of obeisances onto the lotus feet of my divine spiritual master, Nitya Pravishno Vishnupada Paramhamsa Parivirajacharya Stotra Shishimad Bhakti Vedanta Śrī Narayan Goswami Maharaj, and also say millions of obeisances onto the lotus feet of Nitya Pravishno Vishnupada Stotra Shishimad Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj, and all the Rupanuga Gaudiya Guru Varga. And I pray to their lotus feet that whatever we discuss today, may it be in accordance with their Vani, with their bhavs, and may we understand this Srimad Bhagavatam in the way that it was intended to be given. So, Hare Krishna. Thank you again, dear devotees, for coming. And since it has been some time, I do not expect you all to remember what we have discussed over the past several classes when we are discussing the 10th canto. But hopefully, some of you may remember certain parts, and collectively, we can all try to remember some things together. So first, I would like to ask Sridhar Prabhu, please come to the front, and he can tell me what he might remember. Or he can tell all of us, not just me.
Disclaimer, I missed the last class, but
It's okay.
I tried to listen to it on the way. I couldn't complete it, but I got a couple of points that I thought you gave the recap from or clarifications in the last class. So I really enjoyed that. I mean, a couple of things that I got out of it was, it's not like, there's tinges of or different flavors of the leelas that we hear from different acharyas. And I think it's just the vision that they have. So they are all true because it's ultimately they're all leelas. That's one thing that I got. And the other thing that struck me was that, it's not like one kind of love is superior to the other. Everybody has their own kind of prema, which is, everything is right in their own way.
Unique to that individual.
Yep.
Okay. Anything else?
That's really all I have.
Do you remember this example of Prishni and Suttapa?
Yeah.
Okay. So what was the lesson for Prishni and Suttapa? Do you remember that?
No.
Okay.
I know they asked for
They asked
like the Lord.
They asked for a son.
Son like the Lord.
And what did the Lord then bestow upon them?
3 different generations, I think. Three times they were born. So
Yes,
it was,
yes. But he came as his avatar.
Avatar.
He came as
Okay.
avatar.
Yeah, not as himself.
So
Yeah.
what is the lesson there?
When the time comes, be, know what to ask for.
Know what to ask for. That's right. Know exactly what you want.
Yeah.
Otherwise, generic statements will get you generic results.
Results.
Okay.
Very true. Thank you.
Very much. Anyone else? Come, Prabhu, please. I know you like to sit there, but I'll ask you to come.
So for me, one more lesson is अपने कर्तव्य को बहुत ऊंचा रखना है. They were like Prajapati or Manus, I forget the upadhis. And they did all of this penance because they were responsible to propagate and fill this earth. So that was one thing. अपने कर्तव्य को बहुत ऊंचा रखा है. And then second thing is they could have asked. Of course, they were wise people. इतने सालों से, इतने सहस्त्र वर्षों से कर रहे हैं. They could have asked, Lord, come and take over our responsibilities. हमें उद्धार करो. But they said, give me a son like yourselves. Don't disturb yourself. Just give me something similar so I can propagate my duties. And this goes very deeper. And आपकी जो बात है कि अलग-अलग लीलाएं होती हैं. And I'm sorry, I'm going on a tangent. I'll go very quickly. There are 14 in 12 hours of Brahma. There are 1,000 cycles of these 4 yugas, Mahayugas. And we are in the 51st year of Brahma. Just calculate how many yugas have gone through. अभी अगर हम संधि विच्छेद करने बैठे हैं कि हर एक लीला में बच्चा कैसे जोड़ा, हम कहाँ अपने आप को फांस रहे हैं. जब आपने कहा और आपने भी कहा एक रिलेशनशिप बनानी है, उस पर ध्यान दे या तो फिर तो बहुत सारी उम्र लग जाएगी. इतनी सारी लीलाएं हुई हैं. सो ये भी ध्यान रखना है कि हमारा उद्देश्य क्या है. माइक्रो रिलेशनशिप. Just wanted to add that next.
Wonderful. And very much so. As Prabhu mentioned, prema is of different types. And each individual devotee has their own unique flavor of prema. In the Bhagavad Gita course, we use the example of somebody offering idli, somebody offering pizza. The Lord accepts it all based on the desire of the devotee. Similarly, but as Prabhu also clarified, is having that specificity, that is knowing exactly what you want. And so Bhagavan, Śrī Kṛṣṇa has many leelas, And we can see 3 separate Leelas right here on this altar. But each Leela has its own Vaishishtya, that is speciality, but each Leela also has its own flavor. So some devotees find Lord Ram's pastimes attractive, some may find Śrī Kṛṣṇa's pastimes attractive, and within Śrī Kṛṣṇa's pastimes, some may find those Vrindavan pastimes to be the most attractive. And then within that, more micro, or more specificity is there. Hence, the point of understanding Srimad Bhagavatam 10th Canto is to identify those Leelas that attract our heart uniquely. Of course, all the Leelas are very beautiful. After all, when Bharat, right, comes in the forest for Lord Ram, everyone is crying. But some may touch the heart even more. So in this way, when we develop this relationship with the Lord, sambandha, then we will be able to progress in our devotional practice. So we have talked about this at length in many classes. Anyone else? There was also one more lesson that we learned. Didi, you brought it up at the end of the last class. I don't know if you remember. It's been a long time. As you wish, whatever you remember, and then we'll start.
Hare Krishna. So we started the class with when Durga Devi, right? When she was chastising Kaṁsa. And after that, she left and went to different parts of India, and she is known with the different names. And she is known as Durga. After that, Kaṁsa started realizing his mistakes, and he thought, oh, I have done a great sin. Like as usual, even we all do that when we perform anything wrong, then later we feel, okay, I have done very bad, and we start regretting and repenting. So, so that mental torture is there, in his head, that I have done wrong things. And slowly, then after some time, then again the same thing happens. The person who has a demoniac nature, he cannot become easily, cannot transform himself very easily. So he started again showing his demoniac qualities. And he started finding excuses that whatever actions or bad sins I did, he started excuses and causes for that. And he tried to find out the reasons for that, and he started explaining Devaki Maya that see, your sons died because of their own karma. It was not my fault. It was destined, and God is everything. Without God's will, nothing happens. So he started convincing not actually Devaki Maya, but himself, that what I have done is not wrong. It was just written by God. The destiny was written by God, and I was just a nimitta karan. Yeah, I was just became the instrument for God to perform all that activity. So we connected all this thing with the devotees also. Like when we, being a devotee, also sometimes when we do bhajan kirtan, we sometimes feel, oh, I am just caught up doing all that. I don't get to enjoy with my friends. Or sometimes even we lose our friends and other entertainment, that kind of life. So sometimes we feel at back of our mind, okay, everyone is enjoying and I am here just going to temple and doing mala and doing ekadashi, cannot enjoy food. Sometimes these things come in our mind, but ultimately we should understand that the people who are doing a dharma, like the Kaṁsa did, they will definitely face the mental torture, which may be not seen physically, like we cannot see that physically they have any torture, but definitely they have mental torture. And when Kaṁsa started convincing Devaki Maya about the law of karma and God does everything, so he was using the power of Shastra. basically he was misusing the Shastra to satisfy his own urges and to calm his own mind. So that was a lesson that as a devotee we should never misuse the power of Shastra for our misdoing. And yes, we saw the Gurudev's reel where Gurudev was explaining to one of the Grahastha devotee that when he asked a question that if I involve in bhakti, will it affect, if I want to earn money and I'm following bhakti path also, will it affect, be a impediment for my earnings, for my money? So Guruji very nicely explained him that whether or not, if you want suffering, but sufferings still come, and also happiness also comes. So similarly money will also come if you have earned it, like from your past lives you have earned that with your pious activities. If you have earned that wealth or health, whatever, that will definitely come. So there is no need to overdo, over endeavor or overdo anything. So this is the mentality of only a pure devotee, not any other kind of devotee. So the essence was, whether good or bad, the devotees always understand every event which is happening in their life. That event is done and by the God, and we are just the instrument. I think that's it. Did I miss anything else?
Wonderful. Then I think that maybe next week we should have Ritu Didi do the classes. Such a wonderful summary of the last class. And Didi is also gave the example of the 3 different types of karma, for those of you who remember, Sanchit, Prarabdha, and Kriyaman karma. All right, so let's continue. And today's, we are going to conclude chapter 4 of the 10th canto, and at least hopefully we will be able to conclude it. And some of the things that Didi mentioned here will get further clarification. So we're going to try to take it even one level further than what we have heard already from Ritu Didi and in our previous class. So Krishna, do you mind sitting up here? Is it going to bother you? Okay. Nobody's sitting right there, right, Brum? So Krishna, my token Sanskrit verse reciter, I request you to please read what Śrīla Prabhupāda has to say here.
There are many devotees who assume themselves to be in Krishna consciousness and devotional service, but at heart do not accept the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, as the absolute truth. For them, the fruit of devotional service, going back to Godhead, will never be tasted.
All right, so this statement is actually very powerful. There are devotees who think that they are devotees, who assume that they are devotees, but actually when we subtly look down in their heart, then what is it? They don't accept Śrī Kṛṣṇa as the absolute truth. So I just was driving here on the temple, and I swear I saw this on the back of a truck. You know, some people put some decals on the back of their truck. So I somewhat dangerously took a picture of the back of the truck, and I want to show you this picture right here. You see here? This is a very Texan truck. You see on the top left, he's promoting a radio station that is 89.3 FM, and it says God listens. It's a famous radio station. You might have seen the billboards. God listens. But yet in the middle, in very big letters, he has a picture of a gun, and he says, come in, take it. So in one sense, on the side, he's saying God will listen, God will take care of everything, as long as you do the right thing. But what is the reality of his faith? Of course, I don't know him personally, I'm just making a joke here. But the reality of his faith is he believes in physical strength. So at the end of the day, some devotees behave like this also. And I will give you another example of what Śrīla Prabhupāda is trying to give in that purport. And we can probably identify, you know, I can speak for myself that I fall in this category, is that I'll give you another example. So recently, my cousin, actually, my cousin's father passed away. And of course, it's a very sad time for those of you who have lost a parent. He was very, very sad, and for several weeks. I'm very, very close to this cousin, so I'm not trying to demean him in any way. But he lost his father, and because his father was a devotee, actually, of Lord Ram, he desired to honor his father in the way that his father would appreciate. So I talked to him very regularly, so I said, why don't we do some reading of Shastra on the specific day that you're supposed to do it, and in this way you can at least bestow auspiciousness for him. So we went to, I went to his house and we read chapter 12 of Bhagavad Gita, which had to do with bhakti yoga, and how bhakti yoga is transcendental to any bodily or karma platform. So we're reading this, and I'm giving some explanation for this chapter. And many members of the family were there, so it was very nice. And all were listening, and they felt relief from Shastra, just like all of us feel some relief from this material world when we listen to any Hari Katha. So they felt very happy, and they were very thankful at the end. And definitely the power of Shastra is there. So some effect comes in the heart. Prabhuji, Didi mentioned something which I would like to correct, is that a demoniac person can be instantly transformed into a devotee. There is no such qualification that they must be a very pious or great person to become a devotee. Even an asur, a demon, can become a great devotee. Case in point is Prahlad. So, but what is required? One is strong faith, and number two is sadhu sangha, association with other devotees. That is what the transformation process is. So in any case, due to the effect of the Shastra, he was feeling very inspired that maybe I should read Bhagavad Gita. Of course, what happened as time passed, then he took the book with great enthusiasm, but what did he do like most others? Just put it on the shelf, and now it just sits there in his home. So while it is wonderful that he performed this, while it is wonderful that he believes in Lord Ram, Śrī Kṛṣṇa, etc., but execution on that faith is actually very, very important. That is what Śrīla Prabhupāda is saying. Simply verbal lip say of, or lip service of, I am a devotee, I am a spiritual person, I am a religious person. Sometimes we do that just to appear good to ourselves and also to appear good within society. Some people, for example, myself, we go to others in this tilak, and we go and we speak some Shastra, and then we say, I am a devotee. But actually, in reality, are we developing and nourishing that real love, that prema, which Śrīla Prabhupāda is saying, the fruit of devotional service? That is what we are looking for. So when we do this, let us take complete shelter of this statement, God listens. And similarly, God listens, but also God speaks. So when we hear the words of Śrī Kṛṣṇa and his devotees, then we will certainly maintain our auspiciousness. Go ahead, please read.
Similarly, those who are engaged in fruitive pious activities and who are ultimately hoping to be liberated from this material entanglement will never be successful either, because they deride the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. In other words, persons who mock Krishna are to be understood to be demoniac or atheistic.
All right, so this is very straightforward words. And one of the reasons why I love reading his commentary is because he's very straightforward and to the point. There's no wishy-washy nature when it comes to Śrīla Prabhupāda's purports. So here, fruitive pious activities, doing very nice dharmic activities, as Didi mentioned, can give us good results in this world, but it will not give us that ultimate fruit that we desire, which is love of Godhead. So when you subtly look at this, you intend, in one sense, you are sort of mocking, or you are sort of not placing your 100% faith in what Bhagavan and the Shastra has to say. So when we do that, we are not only cheating the process, but we are cheating ourselves from that very delicious fruit of prema. Let us continue with Srimad Bhagavatam. So as you all know, we've been studying, we understood the appearance of Lord Krishna and Vasudeva and Devaki's jail cell. Then we also understood him being transferred to Vrindavan, to the home of Mother Yashoda and Nanda Baba. Then Vasudeva comes back to the jail. Kans takes the daughter whom was switched in Vrindavan. She, of course, becomes Durga Devi. And then Kans is now feeling regret that, oh, I have done some wrong activities. So I will just to get us back to speed and so we can continue the chapter, let us read this verse. Go ahead, Prabhu.
Shamadvam mama doratnyam
Shamadvam mamadoratmyam
dina vatsala
sadhavo dina vatsala
iti uktvashru mukha pado
iti uktvashru mukha pado Shyalaha swasur atagrahit.
Kaṁsa begged, "My dear sister and brother-in-law, please be merciful to such a poor-hearted person as me, since both of you are saintly persons. Please excuse my atrocities." Having said this, Kaṁsa fell at the feet of Vasudeva and Devaki, his eyes full of tears of regret.
All right, so our acharyas describe here that because Kans was feeling sincere regret for committing the sin of killing the children of Devaki, he comes to them and approaches them with apologies and regret. And he also quotes many shastras to justify his behavior. But our acharyas do not say he's a cheater at this point. They actually say he sincerely expresses this regret. And so our acharyas say because he comes into contact with devotees, that is pure devotees like Vasudeva and Devaki, the heart changes. Hence why even demoniac person's heart can change very quickly. But what happens? Just as we described in the previous example of how someone who takes on the path of Krishna consciousness, how someone who takes on the path of bhakti, he will definitely come across many obstacles. In the Bhagavad Gita, Śrī Kṛṣṇa says, Devi Aisha Gunamayi Mama Maya Durattaye. That is, my Maya or Durga Devi is not an ordinary personality. She is very powerful. Therefore, to overcome Maya is also very difficult. So, Mama Maya Durattaye, she has a lot of strength. And Kailash Prabhu in the previous class, you may remember, Durga Devi has one hand that goes like this, but another hand that also holds a sword for destruction. So in any case, when we are trying to go on this process of bhakti, and we gave the example that the process of bhakti or becoming involved in spiritual life is kind of like having, we find ourselves in a situation often where we have 2 feet in 2 different boats. So I'm not sure why. Maybe, Prabhu, you can just see if this can extend a little. I think it got stuck. Okay. Oh, perfect. Thank you. All right. So if we have 2 different boats, of course, my art is wonderful. We have 2 different boats, and we have ourselves sitting here. Oftentimes, we have 1 foot in one boat and 1 foot in another boat. These 2 boats are our sort of material life, and another boat is our spiritual life. That is our bhakti practice. And what happens is you will see gradually that one boat is heading this way and another boat is heading in the opposite direction. So you can imagine if you're sitting at the dock and you have 2 feet in 2 different boats, but both are going in this direction, before long, what will happen? It will split, and if you don't make a choice, you'll fall right in the middle. Or if you make a choice, then you have to jump on one boat or the other. But if you fall in the middle and you're now stuck in the river or the ocean, then what would you do, Radha? Swim. Great. And if you know how to swim, which one would you swim to is a very big question. So generally, which one would you swim to? Don't tell me material and spiritual. Would you swim to the more familiar boat, or would you swim to the boat where you may not know what the result is? So we often swim to what we know the most, which is our material life. So similarly, when we are coming into contact with devotees, then the allure or the desire of our previous life, as Didi mentioned, some obstacles may come. We may feel, oh, well, now I'm a weird member of society. Or some people look at me and they say, well, why don't you eat onions and garlic? Come on. Everything has onion and garlic. How do you live a life like that? Or you follow Ekadashi, oh, you're too young for that. You should wait till you're age 75, blah, blah, blah. So many things will come in the life, and then that influence will also come. And what happens? We generally jump back into that material boat. Similarly, Kaṁsa, though he is taking sadhu sangha here, taking the association of devotees, which leads to his ultimate regret. But right away, he then goes back to his position as king, which is surrounded by other demoniac natured persons. So he goes back to the Asuras and is described that he goes and tells them, hey guys, Durga Devi showed up. And everybody's like, what? And he says, Durga Devi showed up. And she was really unhappy. She kicked me. And she said, if you commit any more sins, you will be finished. So guys, we can't do those things anymore. Now, when the Asuras hear this, then because of their Asuric nature, their demoniac nature, what do they tell him? So this is given in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Go ahead.
Evam chetarhi bhojendra
Evam chettari bhojendra
prajadishu
pura grama vrajadishu
nirdasamscha
anirdashamscha
anishyamodya vaisisu.
hanishyamodya vaishishun.
If this is so, O king of the Bhoja dynasty, beginning today, we shall kill all the children born in all the villages, towns, and pasturing grounds within the past 10 days or slightly more.
So they said, oh, Durga Devi said, that son, Devaki's son has already taken birth. Now they say, oh, if he's already taken birth, we'll find him. And we're going to kill every child that's been born in the last 10 days. And it said, or slightly more, because the Asuras said, you never know. Maybe he's playing a trick on me. So let's just extend it a little more than the last 10 days. This is the Asuric nature, and this is the Asuric pravritti, as they say. So Kaṁsa is hearing this, and now he's hearing, oh, all my friends are telling me that ignore what just happened. Remember, when Durga Devi shows up to Kaṁsa, only Kaṁsa is there. Right? Durga Devi and Kaṁsa. Now Kaṁsa goes downstairs back to his palace, and then he comes into contact with the Asuras. Similarly, in our life, our acharyas are telling us that when some of you, most of you, I'm sure, have had some experience of bliss or some happiness that came from following this bhakti practice. Is that so, Śrīla Prabhu? Okay. So, and that bliss is what you hang on to, is that right? But frankly speaking, does anyone else know about that? Only you, right? He can tell somebody, but will they really understand the bliss in his heart? Only Śrīla Prabhu will know that. So when Durga Devi appears to Kaṁsa, it's just him and her. And he's experiencing it. He feels regret. He goes and prays to Vasudeva and Devaki. But then he goes back to people who have not experienced such a thing. So if Śrīla Prabhu tries to explain, for example, hey buddy, if you chant Hare Krishna, everything will be nice. Then somebody might say, tu pagal ho gaya. You've been brainwashed. Yeah, you've been brainwashed into this. So similarly, the Asuras are influencing Kaṁsa in this way. So they say, hey Kaṁsa, don't forget, you're such a powerful king. After all, the demigods, they're all scared of you. What do you have to fear of anybody like Durga Devi? They're all fearful of you. Instead, let's develop a plan to kill the source of all the demigods, that is Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna, and we will kill all the children in the town that have been born in the last 10 days or so. Does that make sense? So Kaṁsa is hearing this with big ears, and then he hears the next verse. Go ahead.
I don't know how to, is that like
Kim Shema Shurer Vibuder
asamyuga
vikattanai,
vikattanai
asamyuga vikattanai,
rahujusha kim harina
rahujusha kim harina, Shambhu Navavanokasa,
kim indrinalpa virenya
Kim Indrinalpa Viryena,
brahmanatva tapasyata.
Brahmanava Tapasyata. So then they start beginning to make fun of other gods. Go ahead.
The demigods boast uselessly while away from the battlefield. Only if there is no fighting can they show their prowess. Therefore, from such demigods you have nothing to fear. As for Lord Vishnu, he is in seclusion in the core of the hearts of the yogis. As for Lord Shiva, he has gone to the forest. And as for Lord Brahma, he is always engaged in austerities and meditation. The other demigods, headed by Indra, are devoid of prowess. Therefore, you have nothing to fear.
So the Asuras are telling Kans, hey, these various personalities like Lord Vishnu. Oh, Lord Vishnu, he's so calm. He just stays in the hearts of yogis, right? Lord Vishnu is described, Govinda kahena mama Vaishnava paran. That is, Krishna says that I am always residing in the heart of the devotees. How is he going to fight you if he's doing that? So they're making fun of him. Then what about Lord Shiva? Lord Shiva, oh, he sits in the forest and he is always performing austerity in the forest. He doesn't pick up his arms very often. You have nothing to fear. And then Lord Brahma doesn't even carry a weapon. He carries a kamandulu, a little pot, and he has 4 heads and he goes like this. Therefore, we have nothing to fear from these persons. So the Asuras are encouraging Kans in this way, saying you have nothing to fear from your enemy. And the energy that the demigods receive, like Indra, Varun, etc., is all coming from Bhagavan. If Bhagavan doesn't want to fight, then what are these demigods going to do? So this way, that is how Kans is being influenced. So the Asuras have a very limited thinking. But don't just think, when we hear this, we often think, those are demons. We don't think like that, right? But actually, what happens is subtly some flavor of that comes in even our own minds. So this picture here shows Lord Vishnu being carried on Garud, right? And you can see what are the devotees doing? Narendra Prabhu, what are the devotees doing here? Huh? They're praying and what are the different things? Some are offering prayers like mantras, hymns, etc. And some are doing yajna, performing some fire sacrifice. Now, Narendra Prabhu, why does one, in Bhagavad Gita, if you remember, Krishna says, you must perform sacrifice. And he says yajna. He doesn't define yajna as just a fire sacrifice, but he says you must perform sacrifice in order to get some benefit. And what is the process that he kind of says? Do you remember?
You have to, I think he's reducing your ego, right? But I can't remember.
Okay, so he says the cycle of yajna. Didi, do you happen to remember, Madhu Didi? Okay, the cycle of yajna, anybody? Yes, so sacrifice or yajna to please the gods will lead to rains. Rains lead to grains, and when those grains are sacrificed, then one achieves prosperity for all. So not only are the gods satisfied, that is, when we perform some offering to them, then they become satisfied, but they also reciprocate with us and give it. The example here is given is that Shivani Didi, she has 2 children, correct? And her son, let's say one day, Shivani Didi gives him $50, okay? So she gives him $50 and she says, go and enjoy, beta, you're such a good son to me. She's laughing because she would never give him $50. She gives him $500. In any case, she gives $50 to her son. And her son then goes around and goes to the store, but instead of buying himself something, he buys something for Didi. So he goes, he buys something for Didi, he comes back, he nicely gift wraps it, and then he presents it to her. Let's say the next day is her birthday, and he says, Mom, I got this for you. Now, Didi, are you happy? Very happy. But actually, the $50 or the source of that gift was only you. But still, somehow, the feeling that he used that money for your service brings you great joy. And then, of course, next time you say, I'll give you 500. So that way no. In any case, the $50 was originally yours. It wasn't anyone else's. But it was a sentiment that was added that changed everything. Similarly, even though this Varun provides us wind, Vayu provides us wind, etc., air, water, all Surya, everything is provided by the demigods. But when we utilize that in their service, then they become pleased, right? And then they reciprocate with us and say, here's something for you also. So similarly, the process of yajna involves a reciprocation. But this is often given in the Vedic scriptures for some material gain. We perform a yajna or some offering, and we kind of subtly hope for something to come back. But in the process of bhakti, that is not there. What we are doing is anya bilashita shunyam jnana karmadi navritam anukulyena Krishna anushilanam. Whatever we want to do for only his happiness. We're not interested in whether he reciprocates with us or not. So Prabhu, you be satisfied. My satisfaction is not a consideration. Remember, we had said the demons also know Shastra, and even the devotees know Shastra. The Suras and the Asuras, they both know Shastra. But we don't misutilize Shastra. That is what makes the difference. So when the demons read about yajna, they perform yajna, such as Ravan performing sacrifices or austerities in order to obtain some boon for strength, or Hiranyakashipu, etc. And then they think, because this process is described, they come to the conclusion that by doing yajna, they gain strength. Does everybody understand? Only when devotees perform offering do they get something. Otherwise, they don't get it. And just like a wealthy person, if money keeps coming in the bank account, then they consider themselves wealthy. But if money stops coming to the bank account, then eventually you become poor. So the demoniac mindset here was, hey Kãs, Lord Vishnu gets a lot of sacrifices from his devotees. So therefore, if we go and also kill the devotees and harm the devotees, persecute the devotees, then this cycle will stop. So their mentality is, and this is the quotations from Srimad Bhagavatam, that, hey Kãs, I have another idea. Not only will we just kill the children, we will also kill all of his devotees. And they say to him, according to the Vedic scriptures, the Brahmans, the cows, all the yajnas, and they describe many things, are the different parts of the body of Lord Vishnu. Now, I said, Govinda kahena mama Vaishnava paran. In one sense, people can misinterpret that because Vishnu says the devotees are my heart, that if I just kill the devotees, then I'm killing the heart of Vishnu. And so they come to this conclusion that, hey, the different parts of the body are made up of these devotees. So if we want to kill Vishnu, we just have to kill those who sacrifice him. And so by doing that, Kãs decided, yes, Asuras, you are saying correctly, and therefore go and kill all the children in the towns and villages nearby, and go and also persecute those devotees who are performing yajna and sacrifice to Lord Vishnu. Does this make sense? Okay. Now, the lesson here for us as devotees is that we often think, well, let me correct myself. The Asuric mentality is that the Lord gets his strength when devotees offer him things. We, of course, know that's not true. The Lord is completely independent. But we often need to take it from a ras standpoint. Now, this is a completely different shift in thinking that our acharyas give us. That the Asuric mentality is the Lord gets strength or happiness from sacrifice. Is that right? And what will you say in response to that, Prabhu?
Not true.
Not true because the Lord is complete in himself. Do you know the Sanskrit words for that? Atmaram Atmakam. Self-satisfied with no other desires. He is complete in himself. He doesn't need anyone, right? So it's not like because he didn't get sacrificed that his strength dwindles. Everybody understand this so far? But from a ras standpoint, Radha, how does the devotee feel? Does he feel this way also?
No,
Why?
because he wants to be able to make the Lord as happy and jubilant as possible.
Okay, which means that
He has to be a part of the Leela. He wants it.
explain it very simply. On the one hand, we have this idea. Is this true, Radha, or not? Okay, that is 100% true, what Prabhu said. But it also can be not so true. Can be more. What is more?
He can be more happy
He can be more happy if,
if we serve him.
sorry, bhakti, he'll be more happy. If we serve him with our love. Okay. But I just told you he's completely self-satisfied. He's very happy.
Satisfied is not happy.
Okay. Okay. He's completely happy. All right. Let me use the right word that you want. Completely happy. Then what must a devotee feel? That he is? How should the devotee be feeling? In order to perform some service, no, that's true, of course. But what else must he have a feeling of?
What's the question again?
How do we
Okay. The Asuras think that by performing sacrifice, he gains strength. You said, no, he's complete in himself. Now I'm going to counter to you and say, no, actually, Prabhu, he is incomplete. And how can my statement be true and your statement be true also?
He doesn't have the sadhak bhakti. So that's what you're providing. He
He-
has everything, but you're giving him your heart. And that's what, as a sadhak, you get happiness from. That you're giving him something that he doesn't quite possess,
Okay. So what does that automatically imply?
but he needs it,
That he
requires it.
He requires it. And also that he is not completely happy. He wants something more. And what does he want? He wants love. So the devotee's mentality, in one sense, understands that Bhagavan is Bhagavan. He is complete. But from a relationship standpoint, that is not from the Shastra's rules and regulations, but from a relationship standpoint, what must Mother Yashoda say? That mera lala ko bhukh lag raha hai. My son is hungry. I don't care if he's Bhagwan or not. He's still hungry. Or the gopis feel that he wants the love that I have to give to him. So, yes, Didi.
I think what comes to mind is the example of Radha that you had said there. The Lord is very curious to know how can Radha love him unconditionally, and he wants to experience that love, that true love.
Wonderful. And that's the extent to which they say, Bhagavan prem ke bhukhe hain. That he's hungry for love. So when he's hungry for love and he sees the devotee giving that love, then he also wants to take that love. One of my Shiksha gurus, he gave a very nice example because someone asked him, hey, isn't it kind of selfish to be happy in the process of bhakti? Isn't it kind of selfish that we should just offer everything to the Lord and we should actually be kind of unhappy or kind of not happy at all, just straight, stoic? And he said, For example, let me take Sridhar Prabhu. Sridhar Prabhu, now I'm just going to hand this to you. Let's say this is a gift wrapped box. And Sridhar Prabhu, if I give this gift to you, okay, and I say, happy birthday, Sridhar Prabhu. And then what do you say? What do you say in a normal conversation? What would you say? Thank you very much. And when I see you happy, do I get some joy? So let's say you love the gift. Do you love the gift? Wonderful. So you love the gift and you say, thank you, I've been waiting for this for a long time. Now, if I stand here and just be like, here's the gift. I loved it. I cannot be happy because bhakti means I should be unselfish. Then will you be happy? So if somebody is giving something, but then reciprocation happens, but he's not graceful enough to receive that reciprocation with happiness, then will that person feel happy? Therefore, bhakti is defined as a joyous and happy process, not a process of sadness and pressure and force and all this. It's a joyous process because it's the process of love, which is full of joy. So in this way, the Asuras, they have a semblance of Shastra, but they don't have the full picture. That is, we as devotees must understand that the Lord is very hungry for our love. And when we give him that love, he also will be happy, and we also will be happy. This is a graceful relationship, one of good exchange. Does this make sense? Wonderful. All right, so in this way, Kaṁsa is, of course, convinced that he will persecute the devotees. He will try to kill the Brahmins, the cows, etc. And in this way, the question mark of the whole process will come, and in that way, we will slowly kill the Lord. So in this way, the Asuras think. Now, before I get to this next slide, let me ask you something. Krishna, if you read this, is there a doubt that comes into your mind when you hear this? Not about the process, but about what they're doing. They're going around and killing and hurting devotees and cows. Is there a doubt that comes to the mind?
Why wouldn't Vishnu protect his own people?
Yeah.
That's precise.
Huh?
That's precise. Yeah, why would he come and protect?
I thought he's Bhagavan. There's this one verse, Anukulyasya sankalpa pratikulyasya varjanam rakshishyati vishvaso. That is, devotees always believe and always have firm faith. Rakshishyati vishvaso. They have vishwas that he will do my raksha. He will rescue me. Does he look like he's doing that? Madhu Didi? Does that sound fair? You become a devotee, you give up your whole life to serve the Lord, and then some demon comes and kills you. You say, hey Prabhu, how's this fair? And then he does it to everybody. Why didn't he protect? Why? Kaṁsa does it. He actually executes the children and he does this. Why? All right. Okay, karma. Everybody gives that answer, karma. All right. So there is one devotee commentator. It's actually in this book. Does anybody know how to read Hindi? Yes, Didi? Okay, wonderful. So I want you to read this passage because it's such a beautiful passage. 1 second. Actually, Didi, can you come up here? So I have it marked here. I normally would have put it on the screen, but it's in Hindi. Yes, this part. Bhagavan aapke shatru jo.
भगवान आपके शत्रु जो इन निरपराध गौओं, ब्राह्मणों, वैष्णव भक्तों इत्यादि साधुजनों की निंदा करते हैं और उन्हें पीड़ा पहुंचाते हैं, उसके एकमात्र हेतु आप स्वयं हैं। यदि आप पूछें कि मैं कैसे इनके दुख का एकमात्र हेतु हूँ, तो हे श्रीनाथ, क्या आपने सुना नहीं कि केवल आपका बैर निकालने के लिए उस दुष्ट कंस के मंत्रियों ने किस प्रकार इन निरपराध गौओं, ब्राह्मणों इत्यादि को कष्ट देने का निर्णय कर लिया?
So,
Keep going.
do you understand? No, I'll have you read in just a second. So I put a somewhat translation that I could here. So Krishna, can you read the translation?
O Lord, your enemies who criticize and cause suffering to these innocent cows, Brahmins, Vaishnava devotees, and other saintly people, do so with you as the sole cause. If you were to ask, how?
Does everybody understand the first paragraph? Baba, if they didn't love you, then they wouldn't come after us. It's only because of you that Kansa is doing it. He hates you, so then he kills the devotee.
If you were to ask, how am I the sole cause of their suffering?
That
Then,
is, this devotee, Śrī Hari Sūri, is asking, hey Bhagavan, you are the cause of this. If they didn't love you, they wouldn't be persecuted. So, Bhagavan, if I say that to you and you were to ask, how am I the cause? Then he says, oh
Then, O
Shri
Srinath,
Bhagavan,
have you not heard how the ministers of that wicked Kansa decided to torment these innocent cows, Brahmins, and others, simply to take out their enmity against you?
is this the doubt that you all said? Correct?
Correct.
So, Didi, how do we answer this?
From the book.
From the book. All right, so, okay, why don't we just read a little bit more, and then, because it's quite a beautiful, lengthy commentary.
दुखी हृदय से कविवर भगवान से यह कहना चाहते हैं कि असुरों की शत्रुता तो उनसे होती है, परंतु उस शत्रुता की अग्नि में निरपराध ब्राह्मणों, वैष्णवों, गौओं आदि को कष्ट सहना पड़ता है। यदि असुरों की शत्रुता भगवान से न होती तो यह सब निरपराध जीव इतना कष्ट न सहते। अतः इस समस्त कष्ट के मुख्य हेतु वे श्री भगवान को ही मानते हैं।
This is a summary, okay. Now, कविवर जानते हैं कि इस संसार में साधुओं पर विपत्ति का आना. Let's read that part.
कविवर जानते हैं कि इस संसार में साधुओं पर विपत्ति का आना या न आना सब भगवान की इच्छा पर निर्भर है। वे चाहें तो प्रहलाद जैसे भक्त पर एक खरोंच भी न आने दें, और यदि चाहें तो पांडवों जैसे भक्तों को वनवास जैसी अनेक विपत्तियों में डाल दें। चाहे तो अश्वत्थामा के हाथों पांडवों के सभी पुत्रों का वध होने दें, और चाहें तो उसी अश्वत्थामा के हाथों होने वाले पांडव पौत्र परीक्षित का वध रोक दें। इस सब के पीछे भगवान का क्या अभिप्राय है, यह कोई नहीं जान सकता। स्वयं भीष्म भी कहते हैं कि भगवान की इच्छा का रहस्य जानने में मोहन्ति कव्योऽपि ही, बड़े बड़े विद्वान भी मोह में पड़ जाते हैं।
All right, so here, this, thank you. I'll have you read in just a second. So this poet, his name is Śrī Hari Sūri. He's a commentator or acharya on the Bhagavatam. So he's expressing this doubt, a doubt that all of us will have when we read any sort of pastime, especially pastimes of Prahlad, the Pandavas, or in this case, now, what Kansa is doing. So here the answer that the Kavivar gives, or the poet gives, is that, oh, this is happening all due to Bhagavan's ichcha, that is, Bhagavan's desire. Does that satisfy you, Didi? No, that doesn't satisfy. Does that satisfy you, Kiran Didi? That, oh, Bhagavan desired it, theek hai, I guess I have to go through it. Well, that doesn't sound very nice, does it? Now, we have learned in many classes now about suffering and happiness. We understand it in theory, but imagine being in the situation. It's a very, very different thing. So now what does the Kavivar say? Then he concludes in a very beautiful way, because the time is running out. Maybe we can, if we have time, we can read it later. But Kavivar then gives another final example. So before that, I want to give the purport here to this particular verse from Śrīla Prabhupāda, who gives also a hint to this same thing. Go ahead, Krishna.
Those who are devotees of Lord Vishnu, Krishna, are Asuras or Devas, whereas those who are opposed to the devotees are called Asuras. Devotees are expert in all transactions, therefore they are called Kovila, which means expert. Asuras, however, although superficially showing expertise in passionate activities, are actually all fools. They are neither sober nor expert. Whatever they do is imperfect.
So here devotees are described as Kovid, that is, expert in transactions. So when we are in this transactional world, then we should become experts in seeing what the results are from each of our activities. So as Gurudev said in the last reel, that class, in the class where we showed that, is that a devotee understands that whatever is coming to him or whatever is not coming to him, there is no need to over-endeavor. Śrīla Prabhupāda often used to say, there's no need to work like a donkey. Because whatever will come will definitely come, and whatever will not come will definitely not come. Now, somebody may misinterpret this and say, oh, well, I'll just leave it up to fate, I won't do anything. No, that's also not the instruction. To understand both, that we have a duty to perform, a kartavya, as you mentioned, a duty to perform, we should understand the results that come from those activities. But then when we get the results, good or bad, we should understand that they are coming from our previous karma. So in this way, Bhagavan, when he's dealing with his devotees, though, it's a whole different level. It is not in the karmic platform, it is on the bhakti platform, which is the Lord desires it. But still, it's not satisfactory. When we see the suffering of any devotee, we still are not satisfied with the explanation that, oh, this is what Bhagavan desires. That devotee internally may be strong enough to understand that. Do you get it? But the rest of us will not appreciate that. So Kavivar, the poet here, Śrī Hari Sūri, he then takes shelter of another devotee. So instead of taking shelter of Bhagavan, he takes shelter of another devotee. Who is that other devotee? That is Shukadeva Goswami, or the writer or the speaker of the Bhagavatam. And because Shukadeva Goswami, he then says, oh, let me just go back to this I'll come back to this. Shukadeva Goswami, at the end of this chapter, he curses the demons. He curses the demons for such an activity. Go ahead, Prabhu. Devai Raja, Tavai Raja Prakrityas, Tamasa Mudha Chetasaha, Satam Vidveshama Cherur, Agad Arad Agatamityavaha.
Surcharged with passion and ignorance and not knowing what was good or bad for them, the Asuras, for whom impending death was waiting, began the persecution of the saintly person.
So here he's cursing him because the devotees can understand the other devotees. And therefore he takes shelter of Shukadeva Goswami, who curses the demons for such behavior. And then he concludes the chapter as follows. Go ahead. Ayuh Shriyam Yasho Dharmam Lokan Ashisha Evacha Hanti Shreyamshi Sarvani Pumso Mahad Atikramaha.
My dear king, when a man persecutes great souls, all his benedictions of longevity, beauty, fame, religion, blessings, and promotion to the higher planets will be destroyed.
So here the curse is given. That even though we may not see the full picture in our current life, that is when somebody does a demoniac activity or someone performs bhakti, even though we may not see the result in this life, certainly, certainly, certainly that result will come. So patiently waiting from a devotee standpoint, patiently enduring whatever happiness and suffering we go through, and simply hirdvag vapurvir vidadan namaste, simply engaging in bhakti as much as possible. In this way, sadaya bhak, mukti pade sadaya bhak, we will definitely get our result that Śrīla Prabhupāda promised in the beginning. Then Śrī Hari Sūri, I'll just end here. Śrī Hari Sūri then ends with one verse, and let's just read the translation.
Even if wicked people everywhere harbor hatred toward all righteous people in this world, there is no cause for fear for the virtuous. This is because Śrī Hari has now come to reside in both.
So he claims, oh, there is nothing to fear because Śrī Kṛṣṇa has appeared in this planet, in Gokul. And Gokul is what? Śrīla Prabhu, do you know what Gokul is? Another name for? Vrindavan. Yeah, Vrindavan. Gokul is known as his home. So Krishna has appeared in Gokul. Whatever happens is good. In the previous class, 2 classes ago, we discussed the name Govinda. Do you guys remember that? Govinda? Do you remember what Govinda means? Sorry? Govinda. Master? or nourisher. Go can mean what? Cows. Does Krishna nourish the cows? Okay. Go can mean gopis. Does Krishna nourish the gopis? Yes. What else can it mean? Gopas, all his friends also. And it also means senses. So this word Govinda, when we are chanting the name Hey Govinda, Hey Gopal, then we can remember that it actually includes all these things. So I don't know if you'll be able to catch this, but here, tato nahi bhayam tesha maste yad gokule hari. Yad gokule hari means that Hari has appeared in Gokul. And so some people take that meaning literally, well, he's appeared in Gokul Vrindavan, but Śrī Hari Sūri says there's actually two meanings. Because for the devotees, he is always in Gokul. Gokul means the home of the senses, that he's always in my heart. He's always residing in my mind and heart. Therefore, the virtuous people have nothing to fear, no matter what anyone does in this world. So in this way, the play on words of Gokul is there. This is a very, how should I say? When you read it, then you just love it because you'll say, wow, how beautifully he wrote this passage of Gokul. So in this way, the commentator Śrī Hari Sūri clarifies that one who takes complete shelter of the Lord, they should have no fear of what is happening in this world or the next. Due to time, we will end here. I wanted to share with you a beautiful pastime, but we will do that in the next class. All right? So does anybody have any questions? Yes, brother.
Mysterious ways how things happen. You mentioned about Ashwatthama. He killed the Pandavas, and there's a lot of backstories. He was a son of Chandrama and all this stuff there. But in the Shastra, there are various names. Ashwatthama has been suffering, right? You all can believe that. There are several names given to Indra and several names given to the Manu. And I was surprised. One of the names of Indra is Ashwatthama, and one of the names of the Manus is also Ashwatthama. And what dawned upon me, and I may be wrong, he has allowed a Shivbhat to suffer so much. He's living with his uncle, Kripacharya, and under Vedvya's protection, so he has accumulated that knowledge. And after that, he comes over all of his sins, he will be ready for the superior course. Okay, the Kriya that's being played, the Leela that's being played, the mysterious way how things work.
So I have heard something similar to this, that Ashwatthama, of course, is still wandering in this universe, and because he was cursed, but he will eventually attain sadhu sangha, is what I have heard, and eventually he will become righteous and perhaps, as you mentioned, attain a certain post of Manu or Indra, etc.
I was just pointing to the mysterious ways, and
Yes.
it's very difficult for us to comprehend that only 16 years of life was given to Abhimanyu, so he had to die in that way. And the other...
But for Ashwatthama, the example is the Pandav's children. He killed the Pandav's kids in the bed, right?
And he killed the 5 Pandavas. But the mysterious ways how he has planned everything, it's very difficult for a human mind to comprehend.
Yes, that's why Didi, when she read about Bhishma, she said, Manohanti kavyadapi hi, bade bade vidwan bhi moh mein pad jate hain. That is, स्वयं भीष्म भी कहते हैं कि भगवान की इच्छा का रहस्य जानना में बड़े बड़े विद्वान भी मोह में पड़ते हैं. So in this way, definitely, therefore, the devotee does not entangle himself so much in trying to make calculations or formulas. Because understanding Shastra in a calculative or a formula-based way, and even understanding bhakti in a formula-based way, by chanting 16 rounds, by following all the regulations, I will attain prema. That's a formula. But love does not come from any formula. Just like, if we give the example, at some point for many of you, when you fell in love with someone, Yes, previously, like for example, I know my cousin is looking. You go to shadi.com or whatever, and you tick mark vegetarian, this age, this location, this income level, blah, blah, blah. Yeah? There's some filters so that you narrow it down based on what your ideal filters are. But the truth is, when you fall in love, somebody could have all the check boxes, but you don't fall in love. The spark, as they say, is not there. And for others, even though they may have so many X's, but somehow the spark is there. Similarly, formula-based bhakti, thinking that I will complete all my check marks boxes for today. Today I've done my chanting. Today I've read this Bhagavatam. Today I have done this and that. It's good. It's a good filter. But there needs to be a spark. And that spark comes from the heart of a pure devotee. Because someone who has prema can give prema. All right? So wonderful. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Anybody else? Any questions?
On the picture where the Kaṁsa was forgiven, asking for forgiveness from Devaki and Vasudeva. He's in shackles. Why is that?
Well, the shackles are on the floor. It may look like, okay. Well, this was a bad generative image. That's what it was. Okay, so please forgive me. That's a mistake on my part. Because the initial image that was generated in the desire that I wanted was Vasudeva and Devaki were in kingly dress. Then I made an edit, but then that part must have, and I didn't catch it, so apologize for that. Sometimes when we don't find a painting that reflects what I'm trying to say, then I go to generative imagery and it helps me. So I hope that.
I have a question from previous class.
Yes.
That karma cycle. So prarabdha is like when you have that prarabdha in particular life, it has to be completed, right? By any chance prarabdha is not carried forward in the next life.
Prarabdha is what you endure in this life.
Yeah, so we have to go through all that.
We have to go through it. However, your prarabdha can also be destroyed if you attain the stage of bhav.
Yeah, okay. And one more question. Sanchit goes first, battery is burned first, right? So just trying to understand that doesn't happen. Someone enters in the bhakti and immediately doesn't.
No.
It takes lives,
It can take lives. It can be very quick also.
Because what if it's the person who has just started bhakti only at the end of the life? So he must have done good or bad karma before starting bhakti. So that will go again in the battery. Right?
Okay, so for example, the example here of your question is, let's say you have a warehouse full of seeds, which are like karma. They will fructify in every life. You understand this point? Now, if Didi, you have this warehouse, let's say this temple is a warehouse, it's full of seeds. Now you come and you take a match and you throw it on it. And let's say they're oil seeds, so it'll burn. Now you throw the match at the front door. Does the whole thing go up in flames in an instant? What happens?
Part which is very close to it will be faster and then something will be left in it.
No. Not only that may happen, but also it takes some time to burn the whole warehouse down. So it's not like ki bhasma ho gaya, instant destruction. So similarly, when we are engaging in the process of bhakti, then gradually those sanchit karma are destroyed. Then our kriyaman gets better, of course, and then prarabdha comes last. That's why some devotees may ask, well, why am I having the body? Because this body is a result of our karma, right? So then that's the answer to the question. Make sense? Okay. All right, that was a long class, so thank you very much for your patience. Hope you all enjoyed it. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namaha. If anything good has been said, I'm simply reading, all of you are reading what the previous acharyas have wrote. That is their mercy. If any mistake has been made, that is certainly my misinterpretation. Hare Krishna.